This video is brought to you by True Tales of Buried Treasure, the largest collection of old treasure magazines in the West. On our website, you can search for individual treasure stories by region, or buy our original magazines themselves. To pay us a visit, please click on the link in the description. Enjoy. Oklahoma's early history is rich with tales of buried treasure, woven into the fabric of its past. Many of these stories harken back to a time predating the Louisiana Purchase, when Oklahoma was an unnamed expanse within the vast untamed wilderness west of the Mississippi. These tales evoke the spirit of adventure and romance from yesteryears, painting vivid pictures of pots of gold hidden in remote, solitary locations. They have beckoned numerous brave souls on countless quests across the state. At purported treasure burial sites, mysterious figures have appeared, and strange lights have flickered in the night, accompanied by the muffled echoes of pickaxes and shovels. Intriguingly, sizable excavations have been discovered, seemingly abandoned by frustrated seekers. Weathered maps, alongside rocks and trees adorned with cryptic markings, have fueled speculation among treasure hunters, who believe that deciphering these clues holds the key to untold riches. The allure of buried treasure is understandable, given the captivating backstories of these legends. Originating during the frontier days of the 1840s and 1850s, these narratives were passed down through generations. During the struggle for dominance between the French, Spanish, and indigenous peoples in the West, Spanish explorers and settlers ventured northward from Mexico into the regions now encompassing Texas and Oklahoma. Faced with formidable challenges, including encounters with hostile Native American tribes, these travelers often resorted to burying their valuable caches for safekeeping, many of which purportedly remained undiscovered. Subsequently, when the 5 civilized tribes were relocated to the territory, they thrived by herding cattle on the expansive, lush ranges. However, unscrupulous traders would sometimes dupe them with counterfeit currency, prompting a shift towards demanding payment in gold. As prosperity burgeoned, so did the risks associated with possessing gold in a lawless land, where banks were scarce and outlaws roamed freely. To mitigate these dangers, settlers and Native Americans secreted their gold in hidden locations outside their dwellings, safeguarding their wealth from nefarious elements. With the rise of outlaws came tales of their plunder, adding fuel to the legends of hidden fortunes. These outlaws didn't confine their activities solely to Oklahoma. They ventured into surrounding territories as well. They preyed upon stagecoaches, settlers, and banks before retreating back into Indian territory to stash their ill-gotten gains. They traversed the trails along the Arkansas and Red Rivers between Texas and Oklahoma, as well as the northern routes bordering Texas and New Mexico. Notorious gangs like the James Gang and the Dalton Boys, among others, concealed some of their spoils beneath the Oklahoma soil, though most met their demise either at the end of a noose or by the hand of a marshal. Perhaps one of the most compelling tales of buried treasure revolves around the enigmatic figure of Captain Coe. A renowned outlaw, Coe made his lair in Culberty Canyon, approximately 30 miles west of Kenton, Oklahoma, near the New Mexico-Colorado border. The legend traces back to a crisp autumn day in 1867. Mounted atop a restless horse, a noose tightly wound around his neck, Captain Coe faced a somber gathering of 40 to 50 members of the posse. For 4 years, Coe had led a band of thieves and rustlers from their stronghold at Robber's Roost in No Man's Land, Indian Territory. Aware of his imminent fate, Coe, with unwavering composure, offered his final words when prompted. "Between here and Flag Springs Arroyo," he declared, "I have buried enough gold to make you all rich." With a sly grin, he added, "Just thought you should know. Gives you something to ponder." Casting a fleeting glance toward the distant hills, he concluded, "See you in hell." As his horse bolted forward at a slap on its rump, Coe's parting words echoed across the landscape, igniting a fervor of searches for traces of the outlaw's hidden fortune. A few years following Coe's declaration, Michael Ryan, hailing from North Dakota and of Irish descent, made his way to No Man's Land armed with a roughly sketched map and specific instructions leading to a buried fortune. Ryan had forged a bond with an aged Indian who had traversed the plains during the early days of the Santa Fe Trail and had once ridden alongside the infamous Captain Coe. On his deathbed, The old Indian entrusted Ryan with the knowledge of buried gold, estimated to be worth around $750,000, comprised of dust and Spanish coins. Promptly thereafter, Ryan embarked on a quest to unearth the treasure in no man's land. However, the secrecy surrounding the endeavor dissipated, leading to Ryan being shadowed and surveilled by several others. Allegedly, Ryan possessed information regarding a second treasure buried within the same vicinity, dating back to the early 1850s. The second treasure's origin stemmed from a significant event on the Santa Fe Trail, where a considerable amount of gold was being transported eastward. Attacked by a large band of Indians near Black Mesa, the party engaged in a skirmish that culminated near Flag Springs, also known as Cold Springs, where the gold was hastily buried to evade capture. Ryan's map delineated the terrain, accompanied by cryptic notations indicating the treasure's location, a convergence of 4 V-shaped formations near Flag Springs. However, it remained ambiguous whether these Vs were etched into boulders or tree trunks. Adjacent to this intersection, a metal spike had purportedly been driven deep into the ground. Ryan reportedly located the marked spot and initiated excavations, tirelessly scouring the banks of Flag Spring Arroyo and various other sites in the area over a span of 17 years. As his eyesight faltered with age, he marked his path with rocks leading from his abode to his dig sites, persisting in his pursuit until his demise near Boise City, Oklahoma, not far from Flag Springs. Following Ryan's passing, 2 determined individuals, D. Messenger and R. Davis, both in their late 40s and each with 2 sons, assumed the mantle of treasure hunters. Employing a divining rod, they were led to the creek bed one evening, where their shovels eventually struck what appeared to be metal. However, their efforts were thwarted when they resumed digging after supper, unable to locate the chest they believed to be within reach. Despite laboring through the night, they never again encountered the metallic object, leading them to surmise that the chest had rested atop a fragile ledge of rock, which had fractured under its weight, causing it to sink into the soft sand of the creek bed. Approximately 50 years ago, whispers of buried treasure permeated Caddo, Oklahoma, following the discovery of a deceased Mexican man near the railroad tracks. Found with a map detailing a treasure trove located 4 miles southeast of Caddo, amidst the Caddo Hill country, the man was revealed to have inherited the map from his father, who had obtained it from a Caddo Indian in exchange for provisions following a skirmish with the Choctaws, prompting further intrigue into the region's hidden riches. Amidst the chaos of conflict, the Caddo people suffered a near annihilation at the hands of the Choctaws. Following the discovery of a treasure map, a frenzied rush ensued into the hills, with lanterns piercing the night as soil was fervently overturned in search of riches. Despite days and nights of relentless pursuit, the fever of the treasure hunt eventually waned, and the search ground to a halt, yielding no vast fortunes. Another tale of treasure circulated around Caddo, this time involving a lost and found treasure trove. Allegedly, a large iron chest brimming with gold coins and other precious items was stumbled upon in a cave nestled within McGee Mountain. It was rumored that some of the gold originated from a stagecoach robbery along the old Texas road near McGee Mountain, perpetrated by a band of Indian outlaws. Unable to transport the heavy chest, the outlaws concealed it in a small cave on the slopes of McGee Mountain, camouflaging the entrance with rocks. However, they met their demise in a shootout with lawmen shortly thereafter. Years later, an unidentified man stumbled upon the cave and discovered the chest, but unable to move it himself, he departed to seek assistance. In his haste, he neglected to leave any markers to guide his return. Despite subsequent efforts to relocate the cave, the narrow path leading to it eluded discovery. In the Big Bend area, another legend spoke of buried treasure in Eagle Hollow, near Bomar in Love County, Texas. Pursued by lawmen, a band of Oklahoma outlaws sought refuge in Eagle Hollow, where they hastily buried their loot amid several holdups. However, a subsequent downpour erased all traces of their presence, thwarting the efforts of a posse to locate the cache. In later years, members of the Price family stumbled upon a mysterious grave with peculiar markings near the Robersons' home in Eagle Hollow. Years later, when the subject resurfaced, it was tied to a buried treasure. Upon revisiting the site, the family discovered that the grave had been disturbed, suggesting that the treasure may have been unearthed by unknown parties. Additionally, a vast fortune is rumored to lie buried in the Washita River near Old Fort Washita, approximately 14 miles northeast of Madill, Oklahoma. The story revolves around a caravan of Mexican prospectors and an old Indian known as Cinco and his son, making their journey through Indian territory towards Texas. Carrying a substantial haul of gold and silver extracted from a prosperous mine near Mena, Arkansas, a group of Mexicans made camp on the Washita River's banks, close to the present-day location of Old Fort Washita. Unbeknownst to them, they had been trailed by a party of Indians. Upon their arrival, they observed another group of Indians joining the first, signaling an imminent attack. In a swift decision, they hurled their treasure into the river. As anticipated, the Indians launched their assault at sunrise the following day. When the skirmish concluded, all the Mexicans lay dead, except for the young son of old Cinco, who had managed to evade detection by hiding in the brush. The boy eventually found refuge the following day, but kept silent about the gold until his later years. He confided the tale to George C. Cottrell of Durant, a close friend, which was later publicized by newspapers following a lawsuit. Determined to unearth the treasure, Cottrell and the Indian companions scoured the area based on the boy's recollection. Despite their efforts, the gold remained elusive. Undeterred, Cottrell persisted in his belief of the gold's presence, rallying support and forming a company that invested over $12,000 in equipment. Employing a dredging machine from Oklahoma City, they attempted to alter the riverbed's course, resulting in a lawsuit initiated by the machine operator seeking overdue wages. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to read the original article or purchase the magazine from which it was taken, please check out our website, truetalesofburiedtreasure.com.